Doc Marten cappers have come to be one of the most sought after styles from fans for, I don't know, for just forever. This is definitely one of the peak successful styles of Doc Martens. Personally, my first connection with Doc Martens was of seeing ones with a cap toe type look. It was very reminiscent of World War II jumper boots, which I absolutely love, and bringing that with the worker slash punk feel really established my love for Doc Martens in the 90s. I don't know if I particularly saw this style in the 90s. According to some sources, they've been around since the 70s. They keep bringing them back from the archives. I think the last time they brought them back was 2016 and I think 2014. And they came out with a Made in Asia line as well as a Made in England line. So here's what I'm doing today. We're going to compare Made in Asia versus Made in England. And I'm going to give you guys a chance to guess which is which. So one of these is Made in Asia and one of these is Made in England. So we're looking at the boot straight up, straight from the perspective that somebody would see them if you were wearing them. So from on top, and then from the side, both sides here. So what do you guys think? Which is the Made in Asia and which one is the Made in England? Need another second? Okay. So we've done, I guess, as much inspecting as we possibly could if this was us looking down at our shoes or if this was somebody recognizing the shoes and just inspecting them as you wore them. So the instant giveaway, as you guys probably know, is going to be the sole. So as you see here, the right is the Made in England, states it on the sole, and my left one is the Made in Asia, which doesn't say it. Other differences that you'll be able to see is that the Made in Asia one actually has a less dense sole. And the sole is a little bit tinted. It's almost kind of like a reddish. It's got a reddish tint to it. Alright, so let's look at other similarities before I talk about the actual fit, because there's some good info on that. So we're going to go ahead and keep them side by side, and we're going to look at the last we're going to look at the form that the last made on the shoe. So one thing you'll notice is, surprisingly, because usually Made in England's are less bulbous, but the Made in Asia definitely has a higher radius on the curve in the toe, where the Made in England has the higher radius on the toe, where the Made in Asia is slightly more pointed. Other things you'll notice, and these are actually pretty mint, even though I've worn these, they hold very well. So it's a very good comparison, I think. That's why I'm doing this. But you'll notice that the stitching on the Made in England's have a brighter yellow stitching. Other thing, if we get up close, you'll notice how thicker the leather is on the Made in England's when it connects in the toe cap. Okay, besides that, the thickness kind of goes through, it continues, on the Made in England, and they're both consistent in all the parts. Other pieces around the brim, the Made in Englands are slightly thicker, but only if you really get up close, you can tell. Alright, so unlacing them, I'm going to go ahead and inspect them on the inside here a bit, just a bit. So, the Made in England's versus the Made in Asia. Let's talk about fit and comfort. So one thing you'll notice, because of the thicker leather that's on the Made in England's, as I squeeze it together here, you see how it keeps this shape. It's going to take a little bit longer to fully break in. Where here, these are closer together. Cappers, all the cappers that I own, which is not tons, but I own 3 pairs of cappers. They are all comfortable. They're all sturdy. They fit on my foot fantastically. I've taken black cappers on an international trip, took them to Paris, spent 10 to 14 hours every day walking, and they were fantastic. Okay? Besides that, I really have no complaints. I think it is one of my favorite styles ever made from Doc Martens. I think that it's the ornate value of it really gives it some class, but doesn't take away from its edge. Now, I've gone hiking in these. My personal preference for comfort is actually the Made in Asia. I find that they're slightly lighter, and that's probably due to the sole density. But because of the leather isn't as thick, it really formed to my foot better. Now I think that if I wore the Made in England more, and I was somebody who had less pairs to alternate with, I believe that the Made in England would eventually do the same thing. So it really, again, it depends on your usage, depends on your rotation. All those things are something to factor. I believe they're both durable, great quality shoes. I talked about the thickness with the sole leather, with the leather between the Made in Asia and the Made in England, and it's definitely noticeable, but the Made in Asias are substantial. They're great. On the Made in England and the eyelets on the Made in Asia, pretty much the same, except of how they're put on. So if you notice, here's the ones Made in England's, and here's the ones with the Made in Asia. They have the other side to them. So I don't know if this is part of the process, depending on the machine that's putting them on, or what. I remember at the factory, I've never been to an Asian factory, but I have been to one in England, how they did grommets, and I assume it's the same process. Everything else is pretty much the same process between Asia and England, so I assume that is as well. Just different style. Maybe one costs more than the other, and they're able to make the Made in Asia ones more affordable. Possibly. The last thing, when these were released 4 to 6 years ago, the Made in Asia came with kind of these flimsy, standard sneaker flat black laces, where the Made in England's came with more traditional hiker laces, round hiker laces, as you see here. So it's kind of a big distinction. It's funny because I've had I've tried on the striped laces on these, and I think it's because the dulled out yellow on the cap, that the black goes better with it, versus these really scream to have the matching ornate detail and the matching yellow.